I want to go through a list here of the different ways of ethical and unethical consent. And I'm so glad that we're talking about this because I don't know if you guys listened to Ray Ellen in her planetary encodement. I'm 90% positive she went deeper into this because I didn't hear the whole thing. But Neptune, the kinds of alignments that are happening with Neptune right now are flushing out the delusions in our reality. So those are the layered things within the matrix around us that are telling us something is true when it's really a lie. It is giving us opportunity to recognize things that have been deluding us. And I'm going to say for centuries, okay? There are some massive moments of clarity that I've been having on spotted parts throughout the day. It's really quite amazing. And I'm full on board with this Neptune, let's say, realignment, because the delusions, once they're gone, everything becomes so simple, so easy. And you can see the truth of how life simply is a flow if we let it, right? Okay. All right, I'll get a couple of these comments, and then I'll go into these pieces about ethical and unethical consent. All right. Hi, Susan. Good to see you. Okay. Beverly says she can't post links here, so maybe we can do it in the comments of the version in Rumble. We can put it there. Hello, dear sister Susan. Sky says, oh yeah, I explained it. Thank you. Then we have Susan Flagger says, I thought this show is them telling us what they are planning to avoid karmic payment. If we do nothing, it's considered consent. All right, thank you. Now we're getting into those pieces, right? Okay, so we need to remember that consent is a derivative of the word concede. Okay, concede and consent. So when a politician concedes, they give a call to the winner and say, the election's yours, right? They concede. That is something that is traditionally done, and there are times when it's not done, and it's very, we'll just say, not in good form to not concede in that kind of context. But, you know, it happens. And then we also have other kinds of nods of approval, right? And this is, in the conceding, the persons in the competition, whatever, are maintaining their authority. They're maintaining authority with conceding. Okay. Now, let's go more into the side of consent. Consent, when done ethically, means you are informed with accurate information, with all the information that is accurate and relevant to the topic at hand. Then you are given, ideally, something written too, so it's not spoken about and now you have to decide. Full consent means it's spoken about and it's written, right? And you verbally consent, energetically consent, and physically consent with action. That's a multidimensional layers of consent. I know, guys. So, informed consent. You get informed with all of the relevant information, nothing left out, nothing omitted. You're given a time to consider if you want to participate or not, and then you give the go-ahead to participate. Now, the zipped up type of consent means it's happening on multiple levels, right? Like what I just said, you're being taught about it, you're being given written form about it, and then you are given time to ask questions about it, and then you give an energy. When you decide to participate, it's an energetic yes, it's a outward sounding and physical nod yes, and it's a writing yes, right? Boom, boom, boom. So that is multidimensional. We need to understand that, because when you say yes, You're using your voice. That frequency is going out and giving acknowledgement and consent. Okay, that's the ethical version. And the reason why the ethical version is so concrete is that it is so on multiple nesting dolls, informing this here and now reality. Now, where things get a little shady is when you have a yes on some levels and a no on other levels. And that is where the shady stuff comes in, because the whole premise of the shady kind of consent is someone is giving approval out of confusion. They're confused, okay? So, energetic, verbal, physical, right? You guys remember that. When we are doing things energetically, whether it be an activation or a communication or some kind of exospecies exchange, I encourage everybody in the Academy to slow down and feel what the heart space is. If the heart space is in consent, then that is something solid to move forward on. But if it's only up here and not here, then you're not consolidated in that consent, and there's going to be hiccups. There's going to be yes, no, push, pull activity going on. Okay, so now one of the distortions of consent is silent allowing. That is when you see it and you put your head down and you don't say anything. Okay? So you see it, but you put your head down and you don't say anything. See, you can't pretend. That's kind of like pretending like you didn't see it, like that's not there, but it is there. Okay? That, rather than that being about why you don't want it to be acknowledged, that gets skipped over because of the putting your head down and staying silent. The allowing, that sets the stage for the allowing. Now the allowing isn't complete yet. The allowing is now complete when you put your head down, don't say anything, and you watch someone else comply. You watch someone else get misled. You watch someone else have the same reaction. You see what I mean? You watch someone else do the same thing. Now that is where the allowing is sealed at that point. Okay? It is now so. It is allowed. All right. There's allowing in the proper way, which means allowing slowed down step by step, is being informed, acknowledging the information, asking questions if there are any, and then giving a nod. Or leaving the absence of no. Enthusiastic consent is yes, 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 right? Enthusiastic consent is also a tool for manipulation, because a great example is our dance that we just did with the cucaracha and the jibbity jab jig, right? Many people were step by step set up to be psychologically poised to give an enthusiastic yes, to do their part to help humanity. See how that happened? Okay, but the reason why it's shady is because they were not told everything that was important for an informed consent, right? That was manipulated. So all these gray areas that we get tricked into making decisions, because they're not just for this lifetime. They stick up in the Akasha, guys, and other nesting dolls interdimensionally. So you give your power away a couple times. Now there's an inertia. There's a pattern of you doing it. And then believe me, there's definitely beings that are going to use the formula on you whenever it's convenient, right? So it's important that we wake up to this.